A way of life. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Just wanted to come on here to talk about my career series. It's something I've been working on for quite some time now. I've been going through this whole spiel for almost every video, so if I sound like I'm going really fast, I apologize, but it comes up in every video. um, Basically, what I'm going to be doing is going over the different careers for the sign Gemini, the planet that it's ruled by, those careers for the house that Gemini lives in, and the MC. And I'll talk a little bit about what all that means when I get to it. And this is just a general overview. I'm trying to keep the energy current to the Capricorn, Cancer nodal. The nodes right now, just because that's a very important transit going on. Also, it's because it's general, it might not relate to a Gemini, and I'll go over the different reasons as to why that might be. Um, and if you want a reading to get more specific information for yourself, you can email me at awayoflife5@gmail.com. I'm just going to jump right on in. Geminis are curious, social, talkative. They like jobs that provide a social outlet and variety. Um, I want to use the word that we get bored easily. I'm a Gemini, so when I say we, that's why. Um, but it's actually a lot more than that because we're ruled by the planet Mercury. We learn very quickly. I think between Mercury and the moon, those are the two fastest moving planets. So um, we just learn things quickly. And once we do, we're like, okay, what's next? So it's a lot more than just being bored easily. We're quick learners, right? We catch on very fast. So we need something else to work on to keep us busy and motivated. Geminis may have multiple jobs. They are good, goal-oriented, needing jobs that help them reach their goals is very important to us. We need step-by-step things to do. We like order and structure that kind of way. They they're adaptable, flexible. Jobs that provide variety and new opportunities and skills are very satisfying to Geminis. Some of the careers that come with the sign Gemini are journalists, traveler, actor, and media person. Gemini is ruled by the third house. Third house careers are related to communications, creative expression, using the hands. You see that I do that quite often. Not not It's just natural. It's a natural thing. Using the hands, information, short journeys. Third house rules short travel. Day to day is Virgo, so I can't say that. But short travels, short distances like weekend trips, um, things that are within that you don't have to get on a plane to, something you might be able to drive to. It might be 5 hours, it might be 10 hours, but it's still considered a short trip, like a weekend trip or a trip where you can go one day and then come back the next. Um, Running errands and siblings. The third house rules neighbors, siblings, like your immediate family, um, mm, aunts, cousins, uncles. Um, yeah. Some of the careers that come with the third house are accounting, communication jobs, crafts, delivery errands. When I think of delivery errands, I think of the shows that they do where people want to become in the music worlds, where they have them running and doing errands. Those are types of jobs that Gemini likes, like Uber, to do deliveries. There's a set schedule. You get a ring, you get the information, you go, you do what you have to do, and you bring it to that location. We like that type of those type of structured things. So it doesn't have to be specific to being in the music world. That's also just a way to actually come up You start at the bottom and work your way up. So if you had some kind of interest in being in the music world, as a Gemini, being able to do those types of things would be nothing to them. Information processing, music, teaching, technology, um, work that involves using your hands, like sign language. Remember, the Gemini also rules communication, so we like communicating on all different levels. It doesn't matter what it is. If we're communicating, we are happy. Um, Work with siblings and writing. Gemini also rules the sign, the planet Mercury. Mercury rules the sign Gemini, and some of the careers that come with Mercury are accounting, education, media jobs, foreign languages, analysts, information processing, business, language arts, communication, math, computer jobs, music, sales, psychology, teaching, and writing. Because I feel like this current energy right now, is the IT world is growing. Gemini is going to play a really big role in that when we're talking about sales. So we'll go back to, I did a video, a Uranus and Taurus video that talks a lot about what some of the shift is going to be in a lot of these jobs, because we're going to break down to more practical ways of doing things, more self-sufficient ways of doing things, like smaller living, smarter working. So we'll do a lot more working from home, um, maybe even becoming tutors, being a math tutor or a music tutor. I think those things are still really big in other countries, but here in America, not so much. It's something you go to school to do. But I think with this Uranus and Taurus energy, the transition is going to be to break down some of those jobs, and things that you can do in a more practical kind of way. So being a math tutor might become more popular. Learning something digital, how to do that stuff online, might be a really smart way to boost your the reasons why somebody might want to hire you to do something like that, because technology is literally going to take over at some point. This is an 8-year transit, so let's say in 8 years, although computers is already pretty big, um, just keeping that in mind, you want to have some kind of technology or technological component to what you're doing. Sales, going back to doing the door-to-door stuff, that's definitely going to become big again. Writing, obviously, I don't think things like that ever go out of, can ever really go out of. You might want to learn how to type, though. It might not be so much writing, but typing. Um, yeah, so teaching, math tutors, music tutors, teaching from home, homeschooling might become really, really big. People are tired. Okay, you got to pay good money for good schools, which is, there's no problem with that, but the brick and mortar it's becoming really expensive. Not very many people can afford half of these things anymore. So homeschooling is going to be a really smart, practical idea. And some of the jobs that come with your MC in Gemini. Remember, your MC is your midheaven, and your midheaven is mainly focused on your career. So wherever that is in your chart, it can be in any specific sign. So if you had a midheaven in Gemini, these are some of the careers that would come with that. Teaching, journalism, advertising, public relations, comedy. I don't know why comedy is under the MC Midheaven and Gemini. We are not funny. I don't think I'm funny at all. Marketing, in sales. So now I can tell you as a Gemini, I don't relate to half of these jobs. I am also a Taurus Gemini. So I'm May, early deacon Gemini. So there are 3 deacons to every sign. You have your first early deacon, your middle deacon, and your late deacon. Late deacon is Gemini Cancer, right? So, and then you have the one in the people. Geminis in the middle might love all this stuff. They'd be like, yeah, I can do all that and be totally on board with it. But if you're an early Taurus Gemini, you might be more related to some of the Taurus things, and vice versa on the opposite end of that. If you're a Gemini Cancer, you might be more into Cancer things. And then it also just depends in general, like where a lot of your planets fall in your chart. If you have more Cancer transits, you're going to like more transit things and not relate to Gemini stuff at all. Or you can have more Virgo stuff. It really just depends on where your planets fall in your chart. And also to take into account that you may have the degrees also makes a really big difference, right? There's 30 degrees in every sign. So you can be, I don't know, a Gemini Jupiter in your 3rd house, and it's at 4 degrees 51 seconds. 4 degrees is pretty low, so you still might not be, you know what I mean? You might not relate so much to the Gemini sides of anything. You could be more on the Jupiter sides of it. And just, again, this is very, very general, but these things do take on a really big role as to whether or not you are going to be into Gemini things a lot or a very low amount. So that wraps up this session for Gemini. Peace.